I consider myself a bit as a doctor. Shoes, especially for women, is pretty much has to see with addiction. A lot of women are pretty addicted to shoes. So I feel like a doctor who is a pervert doctor because I help to fulfill that addiction, to feel happy. It all started by two things. First thing, I like music hall, so showgirls, and also I saw a sketch of a shoe, and it was in a museum in Paris next to the apartment of my parents, and it was crossed like this. In red it was crossed, and then the sketch was probably black and white. And it was a very, very high heel. So I started to sketch probably when I was 11 around. So I would repeat that drawing, which was a high heel, very skinny. And I could understand that it was a shoe of a woman, but I would not understand why it was forbidden, first of all, and why such a weird shoe. The combination of that sketch and my passion for showgirls, I thought I should do things like that. I should draw for showgirls in Paris. My first job actually was from the Folies Bergère. I went to the Folies Bergère with a book with little sketches for the different dancers, and of course Miss Norma Duval, who was the main leader of the time of the Folies Bergère. I had been working for different designers from different houses in Italy, in France, etc. I liked it for a while, and then I worked for a very nice gentleman for his retrospective in 1988, and called Mr. Roger Vivier. After that I worked for Roger Vivier, his retrospective. I decided, okay, I don't want to do something else probably. I don't want to work for other people. It's not going to be funny to work for other people. I started the company opening a store, but it was a big accident. I just was on my way to the gallery called Ereditata, where I have this first store, and I was trying to buy a lamp. And the guy, the antique dealer, would not sell it to me. So I was going back every week trying to get that bloody lamp, which I have, which is in the bedroom there. And he would not sell it to me. I started to know him more because I had to go every week to try to buy that bloody lamp. At the end of the gallery, you have a place, why don't you take it? And I thought, yeah, I never thought about that, but it seemed like a good idea. And a few days after, I had dinner with my best friends, my two best friends. And they say, yes, absolutely, let's do it. And so the three of us, we opened that first store. The red sole came, so I started to design for me in 91, and the red sole arrived at the end of 92. And I'm someone who's sketching, so my hand and a pen. I've been drawing and drawing and drawing and drawing, and then I look at my drawings and I see which one I want to do completely. So what happened with the red sole is that I started to draw a collection and was completely dedicated to pop art. And so when I started to draw, I was thinking of different paintings that I saw serigraphy of Andy Warhol. So I was painting everything with really bright colors and pop colors. When I looked at the first prototype which was done, it looked good. It was a Mary Jane with a big flower on the side, outlined in a different color. So it was pink, the outline was aubergine, and then the sole was another color. The sole was black. So I looked at the shoe, looked at the drawings, and I thought that looks exactly like this, but something looks better on the drawing. Why the drawing is more intense? So I have to erase that black sole. And the girl who had tried the shoe on had finished the day of trying on the fitting, so she was actually painting her nails. So I thought, okay, she has a color in her hands. So I grabbed the nail polish and I painted the sole in red, and then suddenly it really hit that it looked like the drawings, the primary drawing. And I thought, okay, this is it. That looks like my drawings. So all this to say that the red sole, I started the red sole just to remain as close as possible from my primary drawings, and the red sole is coming from me trying to always be very faithful to my drawings. If you are from Paris, you think that Paris is the most beautiful city in the world. If I had to mention who is Caroline de Monaco, and the first person to actually enter my store, I had the first shop, so at the end of 91, totally by accident. She was visiting a friend next to it, and she came and she bought a lot of shoes. Not knowing me, I really consider Caroline as one of my first fairy. I have another person who is really a fairy, also who's been helping me, was the director of couture of Dior. And the first job that I had was thanks to her, and I called the House of Dior. This was in the very early 80s, Hélène de Mortemar. And so I called the House of Dior, and I said, hello, I would like to speak to the director. What's your name? I said, Christian Louboutin. So what can I do for you? And I said, I'm designing shoes, I would like to show them to you. And I got this appointment with her. She looked at the shoes. She says that she loved what she was saying. The shoes of Dior were done by Charles Jourdan at the time, so she sent me to Jourdan. And she's been really my first fairy. I've been meeting many people, but I would say about her is that she's been the person as close as one can imagine as a big Hollywood crazy diva with all the quality that it says. No defect around that. Doesn't matter. Elizabeth Taylor. I've been commissioned to do shoes for her for specific things after movies, which is Angelina Jolie. She's very much a representation of not only one character, of an actress, but also a strong activist. Tina Turner was one of my favorite ever performers. And so she came several times to the store, to my first store in Paris, and then after that she's been asking me to design shoes for her on stage. And so I couldn't believe that it was happening to me. I was so impressed. And I remember that I had to bring all the shoes in New York and then would see the show 2 days after. And when I arrived, I see on the stage only scaffoldings. And I knew what she was going to wear, which was really high. And I thought, oh my God, where is she going to appear around those scaffoldings? That's going to be so dangerous. And suddenly she arrived, Tina, etc. Paf, she was all the way up to the scaffolding, and I had to close my eyes thinking, she's going to break her neck and her ankles, and this is so sad that it happens to me. And for literally half an hour, I would be like this, and oh no, I can't believe she's going to jump, and then the eye cat, etc. It was terrible. But, you know, like when you are super excited and super horrified at the same time, that's exactly what happened. So I was very excited, couldn't believe what I was seeing, and actually was so scared of any problem that could happen. Thank God nothing happened. I think that inclusiveness should not even be a question. It should just be the most natural thing to think of the variety of skin, the variety of complexion. I started to do a part of every collection which I call nude collections because of a girl called Shandy who was working with me. So I was showing the collections to buy. You have them in fresh, you have it in this red pattern, you have it in the different color satin, you have it in this amount, etc. And then she would come and do like that. When I'm with buyers, she said, because you are, in a way, I don't like what you're saying. I say, and when you say flesh, I disagree with you. You're showing a beige shoe and you're calling it flesh. She says, not my color. And I have flesh too. And I realized that she was perfectly right, that flesh color is not beige. You know, it's one complexion of nudity, but it's only one out of various complexions. And I say, you know what, you're right. I'm so sorry, I never thought about it, but it's true that flesh shouldn't be considered as beige. Flesh is not beige. Flesh is from beige to dark brown. People like nude colors, but what is nude? It's basically the color of your skin. So when you have a pair of shoes on your body, the color of your skin, it disappears. So what it gives a longer silhouette, and it totally disappears in your silhouette, and it's just if you had nothing on. We have 7 shades of nudes now. everybody can be free. It's not an easy choice to be free right now in the industry that I'm working in. But if really it's your passion, you can, I'm the living proof that anybody can remain free. I always wanted to design shoes, always wanted to design the things I liked, but not to make part of an industry. If you would do anything to work in the fashion industry, okay, that's easier to sell yourself to a part of the industry. But my thing has never been to make part of the fashion industry. My thing has always been to design pretty shoes for pretty girls. So that's a very different target that I've been having. I think that my work would change if I was no longer free. My father was working for the train, and he was a carpenter, ebanista for SNCF. So he was doing the maquette, the models of objects which were going to be designed in an industrial way for the trains. So he would work very much with wood. My work has very much an attention to details, and it's a small work, and that's very much a reflection of my father's work. When my mother was very messy and sort of not really good with her hands and very, very messy, and I have a part of that. So I realized that those influences and combined actually gave who I am. It's a difficult thing to say, but if my mother had not died, I would have probably not started that company, because I was still pretty much of a kid. I was 27 years old when I started my company. And so I felt still very protected. So the fact that she died, I thought I've been very, very loved and super protected and always encouraged by my parents. She always let me be completely free, and she would be happy to see that she didn't do it for nothing.